How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be reviewing the Luckeep X1 Pro folding bike. We're going to take this bike downtown and go for a little test ride, take you through some of the different specs and things that you should know before buying this bike. Let's get this thing packed up. All right. So while I do realize that this is a folding bike, I still do prefer to mount it on the back of my car because I do have a bike rack. Just because a folding bike doesn't mean that it's not heavy, so keep that in mind. This bike weighs around 70 pounds. However, it is still very nice. If you want to remove some batteries, you can decrease that weight a little bit. But it is nice to have a folding e-bike even still. If you don't have a bike rack, that's one of the biggest pluses to it. You can just load it in the back of your car and call it good. If you have a smaller car that won't really accept a good hitch, or you really don't want to buy a hitch or put one on your car, then a folding bike's a great alternative. But yeah, so let's go ahead and load this thing up. All right, easy. Go. All right, and we're all set to go. I'll see you guys in a second. Alrighty guys, before we get into riding, we're gonna go through some basic specs on this bike. So starting at the back here, you do have a 750 watt motor. It does have peak out at about 1400 watts. I do find that has a lot of power, but I do like this bike a lot that when you use the throttle, this twist throttle right here, it doesn't just take off on you like a lot of bikes does. It has a slow ramp up, and it has a lot of variability in the actual throttle. It's just not on off like some bikes are. You can do a little bit, or you can throttle all the way down to really get up and go. As far as the interface here, it's really simple. You have the different pedal assist systems right here. You have the on-off button. Again, it is a twist throttle. The brakes themselves are hydraulic brakes, not mechanical, which is very nice when you have to slow down really quickly. You do have a 7-speed Shimano shifter up here, as well as a derailleur in the back. As far as the batteries go, you do have about 30 amp hours of power. So they do say that this bike can get you up to 80 to 100 miles with the pedal assist turned on, of course. If you're throttling the whole time, I would guess around maybe 40 miles maximum, something in that range, but we're gonna test that out today. As far as other features go, you do have the seat right here, which is a nice leather. I do like the brown leather on this whole thing and the aesthetics of the bike. But as far as the seat goes, it does have a piston in the back, hydraulic piston. So as you're riding, it will go up and down as you go over bumps, which is really nice because this doesn't come with rear suspension. In the front, you do have suspension up here. You have a couple pistons that'll help absorb a lot of those shocks as you go over the bumps and potholes throughout the city. As with all bikes of this class, you also have a headlight and tail light that does signify when you hit the brakes, it will turn on for you. As far as any other features go, the disc brake up here, I kind of mentioned the brakes, but the disc brake is 160 millimeters. It's a pretty decent size, nothing too crazy. Again, this bike does fold, so it will have a folding lever right here, a folding mechanism right here that allows you to fold the bike into a smaller, more compact size to be able to fit within your car, which is a really nice feature. Anyways, let's get on with this ride. As mentioned before, one of my favorite things about this bike is actually the throttle on it. It sounds really weird to kind of compliment a throttle on a bike, but I can't tell you how many bikes I've ridden where the throttle, when you start going, just really takes off on you. And it's really not that much fun, honestly. We're gonna go through the different pedal assist options as well while we're riding right here. I'm just gonna show you at a dead standstill. This is pedal assist 2. This is probably my recommended for just kind of joyriding. It doesn't really take off on you. The throttle's a little less responsive, which is nice. So yeah, let's go ahead and go try that real fast. All right, so see, we're at dead standstill. We're gonna throttle it just a little bit, and it really does get going really soft and gentle, which is super nice. Again, right now we're in pedal assist 2. This is my favorite to ride in when you're just doing some joyrides kind of downtown. It doesn't really have the same speed as the other pedal assist modes, but I really do like the way that it feels, especially when you're just pedaling it. It's very controlled, doesn't really take off on you a lot. Once you get into pedal assist 5, that's obviously meant for faster riding, and so the bike will kind of take off a little bit more. So let's just throw it down just for the sake of it. Let's just go down pedal assist 1. Let's see here. As you can imagine, it's helping you a little bit, the motor is, but not really too much. It is a very slower, like it really starts up a lot slower than even in pedal assist 2. The throttle at pedal assist 1 works, but let's see here, are we gonna cap out? Doesn't really seem like you cap out a certain speed, it just seems like the acceleration is a lot slower, which is kind of nice. 2, I think, is a really nice in-between where if you really need to kind of get up and go on these pathways like this, you can, but it's not really overpowering. Pedal assist 3, you're just gonna have a little bit more acceleration. You know, the bike, as I'm pedaling it, it doesn't really take off too much on you, but it definitely does a little bit more. feels a little bit less controlled than in pedal assist 2, as you can imagine. As you go forward, pedal assist 4, pedal assist 5 are just going to have even more acceleration, more top speed, using more of that motor, of course, you know, at the expense of the battery. So we're just going to keep riding a little bit. You know, one of my favorite things about owning an e-bike is just the flexibility that you have to kind of get around town. You can go as fast as you want or slow as you want. You can really just have a fun ride out of it. I mean, you get to see places like this that are just gorgeous, that you wouldn't normally get to see, just because, you know, walking around just takes a lot longer. It's just kind of nice to just kind of be able to ride leisurely like this. And you know, I've ridden across almost all of downtown Spokane, which is where I live. It's definitely not a small downtown, not a huge downtown, but it's just a ton of fun being able to ride around like this. All right, up ahead, we're gonna go across this dirt path up here. We're gonna test the shocks on this bike. We're just gonna try this out, kind of try the shock absorption here. I will tell you, the front one's pretty solid. All in all, I really like this bike and the shock absorption. You're not really gonna be doing too much off-roading like this, but this is really putting it to the, you know, the test as far as, you know, capability goes, I think, for about what most people might do. You know, as you're hitting bumps and stuff in general, it's definitely gonna, you know, take away a lot of that bump, especially on the seat. That's one thing that I really like about this bike. It's a little weird to get used to at first when your seat's going up and down on you as you're riding, but I will say it's very nice. You know, to replace that rear shock absorption, having that seat like that is pretty nice. All right, let's go and turn around here. I think what we're gonna try through here might not be the best road for it, but let's do a top speed just to kind of see what we can get to here. We'll do a complete standstill just so you guys can kind of see the acceleration here. It's nothing crazy, but it certainly does get up and go as you need it. So again, full stop, we're in pedal assist 5, maximum acceleration. I'm not gonna do any pedal assist, just to kind of show you what we can get to here. So let's go ahead and rock and roll. All right, there's 15. There's 20. And 25, yeah, there we go. All right, I'm gonna jump off that little curb there. As you can tell, this bike does get up, that does get up and go pretty fast. Honestly, I would say that 1400 watt peak seems about right to me. Definitely like that. That's a lot of fun. I wouldn't say this is a bike that I'd like to ride around that fast with all the time, but it is pretty cool. All right. Honestly, I love how many places there are around like this in Spokane. It's a ton of fun to go out and ride when you got trails like this going around downtown. Lots of cool things to see during the summer. It's one of my favorite times of year. You know, right now we're in about early June, so the weather's super nice. Definitely getting warmer, but not too hot. Nice thing about riding an e-bike is you got a constant wind, so definitely helps out a lot. Through downtown right now. Got a fighter jet over here. That's pretty cool. Wonder if the air show is going on right now. All right. Oh, there's that bridge. All right, let's go down and check this out. Off-roading. Parkour. All right. Going across all kinds of terrain. This thing is eating it up. But actually, it is a pretty good bike for doing that sort of thing. So, all right, let's go across the waterfall here. This is pretty cool. I'll try to stop along the way here, show you guys a little bit. So down here, you got this this bridge. Oh, I almost fell off my bike. That bridge right there, that's pretty cool. There, you can actually walk across it. Looks like now. Here's some of the waterfall right here. There we are. Check that out. That's pretty darn cool. All right, let's kind of keep riding here. What if this other bridge is open as well? These bridges were shut down for a really long time. Usually they're shut down during the winter. Keep people from slipping because you get a ton of ice on it and stuff like that. Oh yeah, look at this. Both the bridges are open. That's pretty darn cool. Like I said, both these bridges were under construction for a while, so it's pretty cool that they're open now and you can actually go across. We're gonna stop right here. I'm gonna check this out real quick. That's pretty darn cool. calling their kids. All right, let's go over to this one over here. How's it going, bud? All right, yeah, check this out. Honestly, I feel like the railing might be right in the way. I don't actually know if you guys can hear this that much. Put that microphone to the test. All right, let's go ahead and head on our back towards the car. Alrighty guys, so I wanted to go over who I think this bike is for. You know, as I kind of mentioned, this is a great commuter bike if you're looking for something to kind of get to work or just ride around town kind of at your leisure. You know, here in the Pacific Northwest and Spokane specifically, we do have a lot of bike trails for people to kind of go on. So it's a ton of fun being able to ride and not be limited by distance. That is something that you get with this, the 30 amp hours of battery. You know, a lot of the folding bikes that I've ridden will be right around that 18 mark, maybe 20, which is great. And it's definitely a good starting point, but you will kind of run into distance issues when you're riding on those longer trails. I really like being able to have more battery power personally. A lot of the bikes that I look for have that. You do sacrifice weight a little bit, but again, that motor being 750 watts, you know, 1400 peak really does help out a lot on all those, you know, those hills and inclines. A lot of the commuting bikes are going to be right around that 1500 watt starting point. You will see some a little bit lower than that, but honestly, the motor really doesn't help you out that much, which is why I really prefer the 750 watts just to be able to kind of get you up and over any sort of hills that you might encounter. You know, again, I really think this is a great bike if you're looking for something to commute around town. You know, not really be worried about battery. Has good suspension. You're not really going to feel any of the bumps as you're riding. This is definitely the bike for you. Really, the biggest downside I think is just the seat height. I really wish, you know, it's a very common thing among most of the e-bike companies. I wish that they would make them just a little bit lower or have access to be a little bit lower. Even a couple inches would make a huge difference. I think that if you're 5'8", you're going to struggle just a little bit, you know, with being not top heavy on the bike, but like when you come to a full standstill, you're going to have to lean a little bit more. That might be kind of not such a great thing for some people, like my wife who is shorter. She can still ride the bike just fine. She loves this bike, but that is one thing that she has kind of complained about a little bit, and I would kind of, you know, kind of agree on. If you are, you know, 5'10" or above, this bike is going to be perfect for you. There's no issue on that height whatsoever. So definitely worth considering. And I think that's pretty much it. We had a great ride today. Lots of fun downtown here in Spokane. What a great, you know, June day. So much fun. Thank you for tuning in. As always, make sure to check out the link in the description below for a discount code for this bike. I always appreciate the support, and I can't wait to do more reviews in the future for you. Stay tuned.